Sometimes we can't use regular TPR because we have too many students and not enough room. I first tried using hand TPR when I had a class of 60 students in a room for 40. There were desks and benches bolted to the floor, and on each small bench there were 3 students. The one in the middle could not stand up. So I tried using hand TPR, and I found it really beneficial. I've used it in many places since, and I find it a good technique to know. So I'll demonstrate a lesson that I often use. For this lesson, I usually introduce 2 items to be sure they have the vocabulary words, a towel and a bar of soap. Then I tell students, in this lesson, your job is to listen and do, not listen and speak. Do what I do when I give the directions. We're going to wash our hands. Turn on the water. Pick up the soap. Wash your hands. Put down the soap. Rinse your hands. Turn off the water. Pick up the towel. Dry your hands. Put down the towel. After we've done this sequence 2 or 3 times, I begin giving the directions without doing the gesture. Turn on the water. Pick up the soap. And I watch to see if students are able to follow the commands without seeing the gesture. If some students are having trouble, well, then I start gesturing again. Turn on the water. Turn off the water. After the sequence seems well established, I start making mistakes. I might say, turn on the water, wash your hands. Oh, I forgot to pick up the soap. These mistakes are actually a way for me to check to see if students are doing what the command is or if they're just following the sequence. After we've practiced for maybe 10 minutes, we go on to some other part of the lesson, but we'll come back and do the sequence again the next day. You will need to write sequences that are appropriate for your students. Students who are too young to drive cars often enjoy driving all over town and stopping to do errands. You might want to climb a mountain outside your village or town. You might want to feed a baby who spits up and needs a clean shirt. Or you might like to light a candle and then burn yourself when you forget to blow out the candle. Notice that hand TPR is really useful for teaching phrasal verbs. Turn on, turn off, pick up, put down, blow out. I've also found that TPR is helpful in teaching students with disabilities. One student who had limited motor control, used a wheelchair, couldn't speak clearly, told me that he really liked this way of learning. He could watch, listen, approximate the gestures, and he learned a lot of English. Another student who had cognitive problems because of a severe head injury and who rarely spoke even in his first language did hand TPR classes with me and a group, and then began to surprise us all by using English words appropriately. So because hand TPR can be used with any size class, uses no materials, and is helpful for students with disabilities, I really like hand TPR.